हेलो हाँ अंदर आ जाइए 20 707 है बाहर ही हो अच्छा एक सेकंड
Please make me host so that I would be able to share.
अनुषा ऑन पर लूँ
Pardon?
Hi ma'am, good morning. Just making
Good
you
morning.
the host.
Yeah. Why my video is paused?
Sorry ma'am, you saying something?
Yeah, I shared, but I saw that my video is paused. My sharing is paused.
Because you're the host.
No, but 1 minute.
Just recheck ma'am.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it come? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
1 second. Who is it? Yes. Good morning, Mayuri. It's Mayuri, right?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Yes, you are the first one to join. Okay, Jagannath sir is also there. Jagannath sir, is this your elective or out of curiosity you join? Ah, okay. Mayuri, what's up?
Yes, ma'am.
Done any progress in your project outline framework?
Yes, ma'am. So I am now close to writing my synopsis. And so I have got my Likert scale questions. I have got my target audience. I have got the objective scope, everything in place now. In a sense, what I feel I want to put in there. It's just that now how you have always been insisting from day one that the right choice of words is important. So I
Right.
am going back and forth on my scope
That
and
is
object.
really essential.
Yeah. So I'm trying to write the objectives the way those three important keywords that you have when study, do, observe. So those, what I'm also doing is I kind of went through the book that's been prescribed to us for this course. I've gone through not all of your lectures, ma'am. I didn't get time to listen to all of them. A couple of them I listened the first few, just so that I understand. I mean, whilst it sounds very simple when you read it in the book, but when you look at it from a practical implementation, which also would be the theme that ISD would base its questions and assignments on,
Right.
to get the the practical application of this. That is where I think it's going to take a bit more of practice and bit more of reading and bit more of writing, rewriting. So that's the stage that I am in right now. Maybe by next week, before your final class, next week will be the last class. Before that, I shall finish reading the book and listening to all your lectures. So what happens is, if I have any doubts or any concerns or any example that I want to discuss or get clarity on, then I should be able to do it. I was planning to do it for today. I said, at least whatever you taught, let me finish, but I just couldn't get time to complete everything. So I said, okay, whatever I have done, at least so far I'm clear. And by next week, I think I would go through everything that you have taught us. And as you said, it is right. You should listen to the videos instead of looking at the presentation, because listening gives you much more clarity on how you want to, what is it that's important. So I guess tandem along with the book, I think I should be able to ask you, hopefully not too many, but questions next.
Yeah, in the process of research, there are a number of queries, doubts, ambiguities, and it is essential that they are settled at the right time.
Correct.
And our last session is of revision. And today's session at 2 is on case study.
Okay.
What I think is we will do the revision today only, so that because while we solve the cases, we need to go back on the concepts, on various contents that we have studied in the previous sessions. So we will do some brush up, some revision today in the afternoon. And then we can devote more time to the 10th session on case studies. That will be more fruitful. Okay. So one more is there. Hello, Pallavi.
Hello, ma'am.
Pallavi Saxena, training overseas in academics. You are from Prayagraj, right?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Yes. I think last time you were not there, or were you?
Yes, ma'am, I was, my son was not well. So, the most of my weekends are going really busy. I'm very sorry for that, but I'll try to be regular from today.
There are only 3 sessions remaining. But anyway, have you gone through the previous contents?
Ma'am, some of them, but not all of them. But I'll try to go through all of them.
Okay, fine. Today in the afternoon, we are going to have our revision of all the sessions. So please be there at 2.
Yes, ma'am.
So we had, though today's session is session number 8, you may be finding on slide, it is session or module number 7, because we are halfway through it. Okay, so we will finish that first, and then we will go to the next session, that is session number 8, as per the schedule, which is on presentation of research. And once you do the research in the right manner, presentation is not a big task. Your contents are really good. And when you do it yourself, you have confidence in that, then presentation is comparatively easy. So we can finish that in the given time, definitely. So to brush up, we have gone through the methods of research writing, essay, research article, and then research paper. So 4 types of research essays or articles we have seen, but we will revise that in the revision session. Our main focus is research paper. So research paper is an extended essay. In essay, as you know, you explore what you want to say under the topic, but you say what you want. That liberty you get in essay or research article, but in research paper, you go through what is underlined in the last part. Research paper, you build upon what you know, definitely, but the major focus of research paper is deliberate attempt to find out what experts know, and it is surveying field of knowledge. We have seen that very well. We have done good exercise, and many of them who have attended like that. Pallavi, what I would suggest, take the photo of this slide. This photo talks about, or this slide talks about, whatever is written in the bold is the topic. What follows next? What follows next is article title. And what follows next is the research paper title. So for example, let us go to the last bold. Organizational culture and work life. This is called as topic. Okay. Next, organizational culture and work-life balance, an overview. It is called as a title of research article. And the next one is the title of research paper. So you can understand topic is comparatively smaller. Research article title is comparatively bigger than topic, but smaller than research title, research paper title. And in research paper title, generally you need to write with special reference to, because you are to talk about your sample. Okay. So by to, if you jot down your topic and your title, it will be easier, because in the last session, many have done that. Okay. Let us see. Yeah. We were at this title abstract. These are the two slides which talk about framework or contents of research paper. And we had been halfway through it. And as I always say, you can stop me anytime for any query in the process of our discussion. So choosing the topic and framing a title, all this we had been doing from the first session. Okay, so I won't give much time for that. We have already seen that. Review of literature, we had separate session, third session on that. Now I had given the samples of abstract and keywords. Every research paper these days, this is mandatory. It must start with the title of research paper, then abstract, and then keywords. So see, title of research paper. This is a literature review base, that is secondary database. We have given time for this. So I'm going ahead. Another abstract, primary database research paper. How many words are to be in abstract? These are given by the research journals, but they are generally half page, 250 words, 300 words, like that. One more example was given. Though the research paper starts with abstract, you cannot write the abstract before you finish the writing of the research paper, because unless and until the complete research is done, you can't talk about your final sample, your findings, your conclusions, your results, your areas for further study. You can't talk about, so you are to finalize the abstract. You may start drafting it, but you can finalize it only after the complete session. So what to write in introduction, conceptual background, this we have already seen. Review of literature. This already has been discussed. When it is secondary database research, how it looks. Objectives, hypothesis, we have done some exercise already. We will do the revision in the afternoon of the concepts. Yes. Then scope and limitations. Point number 9 in the sequence. Scope means you are to list down in bullet points, the concepts used, the context used, and that are explored in the research. So it is majorly all the keywords that you are writing after the abstract, and few more which are the important variables. Variables concept you already know. The strength of a researcher is identifying the variables. We will revise it in the afternoon. Limitations are only of 3 types. Whatever kind of research you do, globally or locally, limitations are to be written like this only. Limitation as to sample type and size. You are to say that the research is limited to 14 IT companies from Pune, and the sample size is 200 middle-level managers. So type and size. Geographical area, all the sample managers are from Pune region only or Delhi region only and all that. And in the paper, you are to explain what Pune region means or what Delhi means or Maharashtra means or whatever. Limitation as to time, you are never to say time was short. Here you are to say the research is limited to the time period between, say, April 2024 to August 2024. The importance of writing scope and limitations is, can anyone tell me why in research paper or any kind of research, whether it is a project, in your research project also, you are to write why scope and limitation is written? Any idea, any guess? Recollect, I used to talk frequently about your research, your syllabus. Now anyone wants to explain why this is written in any kind of research, whether dissertation or research paper or PhD thesis or any project? No idea? Suppose someone asks you, so what I have told about 3 limitations, the research is about 200 managers from IT company in Pune and research is in between so and so. If someone asks you, why you have taken 200 managers only? There are so and so lakhs of managers in IT companies in Pune. Why you have taken so and so IT companies only, say from so and so area? Then you can simply say, I have put in limitations. This research is limited to this. And as you suggest, I can take the managers from other industry or other IT companies from other IT zone, other locations in my next study. So you are telling to what extent you are limiting your research. Same about scope. In scope, you are taking few concepts, few variables. You can't take all the variables for a particular research. Even for PhD, you can't take everything which is applicable. You are to limit that you write in the scope. And you may definitely say, your scope of research is this. More variables can be explored in the area of further research. So you will find at the end of this sequence, you will find one point, area for further research. And if you don't write this scope and limitations, you won't be able to write area for further research. With reference to this, you can write area for further research. When we will come to that, I will explain more. Okay. Regarding significance, what kind of contribution you are doing to the research field. By doing the research, you are to write in 1 or 2 paragraphs. Okay. This we have seen many times, research methodology or method mix. You can't give this kind of diagram altogether. You are to focus on what you have done. You can write in paragraphs also. Research questions and research problems. This is important thing. Many times I have told research questions are 5W1H questions, single question mark wale questions. Research problem is the problem due to which you are doing research, which is written in paragraphs. Okay. So research problem is always singular. Research questions are multiple. This we have already seen in one. Now, giving you 5 minutes. Let us do one exercise. You will remember that in the previous session, I have shown you the proposal, research proposal on this title. I hope you remember those.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now, your exercise right now. The topic is, this is a title or topic?
This seems to be the topic because the title will be a bit smaller.
Not expected from you.
Sorry. No,
This is title.
the title.
This is the title. Topic may be
Sorry.
challenges and opportunities in related to government schemes.
Yes. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. So this is a title. Okay. Now, with reference to this title, try to frame 3-4 questions. First of all, frame the questions. Then let us talk about the problem. Giving you 2-3 minutes. 5W1H wale questions. What, when, where, who, how. Single question mark wale questions. Okay. Can you tell now? Anyone? And I suppose before Mayuri, someone else please start. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah. So, Bipul Kumar sir, Pallavi, and if Jagannath Kulkarni is there, can you start?
Okay, I'm going to try this. Uh, as the study of status impact challenges.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
And please,
So-
your voice is not audible to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, So what is this? What is the challenges?
Okay.
What is the challenges in these?
Okay, RKSK scheme.
Five
Okay.
in five districts of
Okay.
Maharashtra
Okay.
about the challenge in the adult
Okay.
education or matter.
Got it. Got it. Pallavi?
Health.
Yes.
No, ma'am, I have not framed any question. The basic questions, like what would be the status and how it would be impacting the future opportunities for RKSK.
Correct. Okay. Mayuri?
So, ma'am, in addition to what question that people are asked and the status and the questions on the future opportunities, one more question could be who are the stakeholders who will get impacted by this study. Then one more question that we can also ask is why only 5 districts have been, I mean, I don't know whether this could be, but why have you not
No,
considered?
this question the Viva people will ask.
Okay, 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 okay. But yeah, means if basis this particular topic, then who are the stakeholders and what is the I mean, what is the possible, what is the intended outcome of this case? Again, probably I have a question could be, but to understand that when we're looking at impact, challenges, and opportunities for 5 districts, the researcher would have something in mind for him or her to look at it. So possible outcome or possible solution that somebody might want to look at.
Right. Okay. Why the research
Ma'am,
question?
can this be the limitation, the 5
Yes.
districts?
Definitely. Definitely. One good thing is that once you frame the title well, title, objectives, hypothesis. Once you frame that well, you are to borrow the same words for the whole process of research. Okay. And as you may be knowing, everywhere it starts from ABC to XYZ. From 1 to 3, then you go to 9, 10. What you have done, what questions you have told are correct. For example, Bipul Kumar's question. What are the challenges in RKSK in these 5 districts and all that? Perfectly correct. But you will ask this question as question number 8, 9, 10. What should be the question 1, 2, 3? Researcher first wants, though this person who had studied this had been one of the parties in this scheme, I have told that you working in the field or not working in the field, whether you are from academics and all that, research is completely a different thing. Now you want to know what is already happening. And you are to go from concept to exploration of concepts. So first question definitely is to be asked is, what is RKSK? What is the scope of this scheme? Then as Mayuri has said, what are the or who are the stakeholders associated with this scheme? Am I right? So you are to go flow wise. Now I'm showing you the list. See, what is the status of RKSK in districts of Maharashtra? What are the challenges and opportunities? Yes. What is the operational framework? Because the title talks about its implementation. See, status, impact, challenges, opportunities, obviously not on only policy framing. This is already done. All the challenges and all that are about execution, implementation. And therefore, operational framework, its effectiveness, when you are to talk about this scheme at its impact on what? So fourth bullet talks about it, physical, mental, social. Then how the performance is measured, because the title talks about impact. Now, in the next, they talk about in their conceptual framework, they talk about 7 C's. So those 7 C's the researcher has brought and many more. Okay. So from macro to micro and micro to micro, you are to consistently check. One more example. The title is Study and Analysis of the Effect of Cultural Intelligence on Quality and Performance of Employees, with special reference to selected industries in and around Pune city. So this is, I hope you understand, this is a title of research paper or thesis or project, but it is a title of the research paper or thesis, and it is not a topic. Topic is cultural intelligence. Okay. So what are the concepts of diversity management and cultural intelligence? Are the employees aware? Because this was a new concept when under this, the project and PhD was conducted. So what is the awareness? How cultural intelligence is different from IQ, EQ, SQ? What are the challenges in developing that? So like this, single questions in a flow. Now you will see that in the initial questions, they are secondary data-based questions. That means from the books, from published material,
Literature.
from the internal literature of the company, you can get that information. And the next questions at the end are about collection of primary data. When you talk about impact, when you talk about challenges, when you talk about opportunities, that those questions are primary data related. Those who are want to strengthen the research capabilities, do one thing. When you frame research questions in the title of the in the light of the title objective hypothesis, against each question, write whether it is SD or PD. SD means whether you will get information or answers to this question through secondary data, or PD means through primary data. Okay, sometimes you will have to put SD plus PD. That some information you will get from secondary data, some from primary data. Let us do a simple exercise on the previous one. Take any question and tell me whether you will find the answers through SD or PD. SD, secondary data, PD, primary data.
So the first one is SD, the status of RSK program in districts of Maharashtra.
Pardon?
The first question, ma'am, what is the status of the program in districts of Maharashtra, would be based on secondary data.
Perfectly correct.
Because this will be available as a printed literature. Literature, somebody would be aware of this.
Once you are sure whether SD or PD, you are to write against that which kind of SD.
Okay.
So you will collect this information through secondary data. Kahan milega? Where will you find it?
This will be the printed literature of the program.
Printed literature is a very generic term.
Okay.
See, secondary data के दो types है. One is external secondary data, that is books, research papers, all websites and n number of things. Okay. Internal means आपके sample के related जो reports रहते हैं, policies रहते हैं, that secondary data. Now here, regarding RSK program, you won't find many books.
It will be internal secondary data.
You will find n number of reports of that particular department. Correct? Okay. Someone else take any other question and tell me SD or PD.
Can a question be both secondary and primary?
Yes, I have already told.
Yeah. So, for example, what is the scope of study in adolescent physical, mental, and social health? This would be something.
First of all, secondary data. Under that, कहाँ से मिलेगा?
External review of literatures or any published articles on this.
Yes, and
it could also be internal because maybe there is some stuff that was done by this before this program was implemented.
Correct.
And it would also be the researcher can actually.
Don't forget about the books, the basic concept, because you will remember we have discussed that in fourth or fifth session.
Correct.
Questionnaire designing in the quantitative research. You make a questionnaire where only tick marks are to be done by the sample, correct? And in the questionnaire, you can't ask such questions. These are called as open-ended questions. On these, you are to frame questionnaire questions.
Yes,
so
yes, ma'am.
For developing that, you conceptually must be very strong on what is physical health, what is mental health, what is social health, and that information you will find in books only. So psychology related books or sociology or mainly health related books, you will find that matter. Okay, good. Primary data?
So primary data would be through the researchers' surveys. Basis now that you already, we discussed that the questionnaire the person will prepare based on his understanding of the various concepts, and then he will administer that survey to get the information from the sample population.
It's a combination of SD and PD. Under SD, external secondary data also, internal secondary data also. Under PD, check whether you agree with me. Under primary data, instead of directly going for questionnaire and administering it on the big sample, you yourself are not expert in physical, mental, social health. Am I right? Even that student was also, though he was the officer in health department, conceptually you are not expert in this. So it is better to conduct 2-3 interviews or focus group interviews. We have studied that in fourth unit. So you will get, from that interview, you will get n number of variables with the help of which you will prepare a questionnaire.
Perfect. Yes,
agree. So it is always better before finalizing the questionnaire, you do some rough draft, but you do 2-3 interviews separately or one focus group interview or 2 focus group interviews where you ask 2-3 open-ended questions like this only. And you will get variety of variables with the help of which you can prepare questions. Okay. Anyone wants to say anything on this? Have you selected any question and want to talk? Okay. Fine. Now, let us see the research problem. I will talk about the research problem in the light of this. I repeat, research problem is written in paragraphs. See how I am framing. It can be framed in different manner with different words also. But the simple way is go from macro to micro. Okay. Now, what is the concept here? The concept is of a particular scheme of the government, and the word swasthya is used Swasthya means health related.
Yes.
And in our question, there are words physical, mental, social health also, and it is about the adolescence. Okay, so you can start with adolescent, what they are, or in the introduction, you may remember regarding that proposal that so-and-so lakhs of adolescent age group people are in India, and they are the future of India. And therefore, it is essential to invest on the health of adolescents, not just physical, but mental and social health too. The government makes all the efforts to devise a number of schemes for the population in India and also for the adolescent group. One such scheme is this RKSK. This is being implemented from so and so year. The researcher is curious to know to what extent there is the impact of this scheme on adolescents, what challenges the administrators of this scheme, the stakeholders come across, what opportunities are there. This is called as a research problem. Once you read a number of research problems, you can take help of Google, read a number of research problems, and you will develop the knack of it. Okay. Regarding that cultural intelligence, this is the research problem. Why cultural intelligence term got importance? This was because of LPG. Why LPG created this challenge? Because due to LPG, the global work scenario started, and therefore the diversity in the workforce started, and therefore it became a challenge. And therefore, you can see in the last paragraph, the researcher aims at finding the significant association between cultural intelligence and overall development of employees in selected industry and all that. So first two paragraphs narrated about the problem itself, and then it landed up on why the researcher wants to do the research in this. So now you have clarity about research questions and research problems. Then analysis and interpretation. So you can use whatever statistical tools you are convenient to use. Just mean may be enough. If you are to find any correlation, then correlation related statistical tests are used. T-test, p-value related, all such tests are being used. Some graphical presentation is made here. The difference between analysis and interpretation is, anyone knows the difference?
I can try, ma'am.
Hmm.
So analysis is basically breaking down the data that is available so as to have some solid information, which then can be used for interpretation. Because interpretation is basically trying to figure out what analysis is saying and put it into easy words for people to understand. You interpret what data you have collected or what analysis you have done.
Okay, fine. Anyone else want to say anything as a difference? If I want to analyze the today's session, or if anyone from diploma office or diploma board chairman wants to analyze and interpret today's session, how will it be done? The person definitely will go for how many were present, correct? Who joined at what time? How many minutes each one was present, including me? How many minutes the faculty was talking? What kind of questions were asked? Who answered? For how many minutes answered? Whether the justice was given to the contents, it was as per the schedule or not. So the evaluator will have n number of variables, and accordingly, the data will be analyzed. Whatever I told, it was about mostly in number. How many, what amount of time, and all that. So analysis is broadly in numbers. And in research, it is in percentage and all that. Okay, now interpretation. If today's session, after analyzing, after making the graphs of the attendees, the time the talking was there, how many questions, n number of data is in front of the evaluator. Now, how will the evaluator interpret? Now, in interpretation, mostly the number won't be used. The interpretation may be the faculty and the students were engaged in the discussion on the topics of the syllabus. The questions were asked, the doubts were cleared, and all that. This is called as interpretation. Analysis is big in size, interpretation is small in size, but interpretation must be done because it is the gist of research. Interpretation must be done in the light of objectives and hypotheses. Gradually, the researcher develops the art and craft of writing interpretation. One important thing is, even though same data is available to two researchers, their interpretation may be different. It is because of the language skill, and it is mainly because of the research orientation, maturity in the topic, and all that. And therefore, it is art and craft. Okay. So analysis and discussion, it is generally like this: results and discussion. This is analysis, where you can see frequency, percentage, valid percentage, cumulative percentage. So it is as per the data that is collected. So some analysis is done, or simply with the help of me, you can do the analysis if you are a beginner. Hypothesis testing is to be written in the results and discussions or in the sequence separately. So there is, I have told, H1 and HO, alternate hypothesis and null hypothesis. Where negative word has been used, it is null hypothesis. So HO is null hypothesis, H1 is alternate. And I have told, while we studied hypothesis, that you don't, as a beginner, you don't go for null hypothesis. Frame only alternate hypothesis. That means, suppose the batch so and so, ISTD PG diploma students of research methodology are, whatever adjective you want, you can take. This is a simple statement made by me, which is alternate hypothesis. If I say are clever, it is alternate hypothesis, H1. If I say are not clever, it is HO, that is null hypothesis. Even if I say not clever, I am to prove that you are clever. But statistically, null hypothesis is used. But if you are a beginner in research, don't even think of null hypothesis. So like this, hypothesis is tested. P-value related hypothesis. So in the research paper or in thesis or dissertation, you can make this table. What tools you have used for analysis purpose. This way also in a tabular form you can do, or in paragraph form you can do. Then findings, suggestions, recommendations. When you do the interpretation of data well, the same interpretation in nutshell is called as findings. Okay. It should be in brief, mostly in bullet points. Data may be incorporated, as I have told. In interpretation, mostly data is not there. But if you still strongly feel, very rarely you can use it when necessary. Okay. Unless and until findings are there, you can't go for suggestions because your suggestions are based on findings and interpretation only. Suggestions are to the sample. Now, remember RKSK scheme for adolescent, all the suggestions will be to all the stakeholders. So to the adolescent children, to the school teachers, headmasters, to other stakeholders of government department, health department, whoever implement the scheme. So those who were under the study, to whom the questionnaire was given, whose interviews were taken, to them suggestions are given. Then to whom recommendations are given? They are given to other related stakeholders. For example, to the health ministry. Recommendations can be given to the health ministry. Why? Because health ministry people were not your sample, but you need to give to them. Or you can give some recommendations to the schemes which are not related to adolescent, but you may, if you feel that same kind of challenges may be coming, so you can send them, you can make the recommendations to them also. For another example, when I did my research, my sample was bank employees and managers. So my suggestions were to the bank employees, to the branch managers. And my recommendations were to RBI and some non-profit organizations related to banking. For example, National Institute of Bank Management, NIBM. So when I am to say something at macro level, I need to give recommendations. When I am saying something for the development of that particular scheme and all that, to the sample, what I want to suggest are suggestions. Managerial implications, you may or you may not give. Area for further study, you remember? Scope and limitations, that time I have told. Suppose in scope, you have given 5 concepts. Your research was related to that. Then you may say, research can be done on these areas, scope also. In limitations, you have, suppose regarding RKSK, 5 districts it was taken. So the researcher can say the same type of study can be conducted for other districts from Maharashtra or all the districts from Maharashtra by taking the sample so and so. So once you write that scope and limitations very precisely, this point becomes easy. And then conclusion and all that. Okay. So this was about the research paper. Any doubt so far? Because now I am going to session number 8, which is today's content. But I told in the beginning, we had invested good amount of time on the research paper. The simple reason is that today's content is, okay, my sharing is paused. Okay, I will reshare. Okay, is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Visible.
ma'am.
Yeah, so this is 8th session and the content is this, research presentation technique. When you have understood all the flow, whether it is of a research paper in seminar or any PPT that you are doing at workshop or conference or colloquium or whatever. You are presenting your research, whether it is oral presentation only or you are taking the help of PowerPoint. Once you know the content very well, precisely slide by slide, you are to give the presentation. As in the second semester, you were having your separate subject as presentation skill. I need not stress much on that, but the simple rule in presentation is plan, prepare, practice, and present. And more simple is stand up, speak up, and shut up. Shut up is very important. In research, speak only the thing. And therefore, you are to prepare. Before that, you are to plan how many slides, what kind of, so it is simple as this. Title slide. In the same slide, you can put your objectives, hypothesis, or before that, title slide and objectives and introduction. Then your objective, hypothesis combined, your scope and limitations combined, literature review. Depending upon in front of whom you are presenting, your contents will matter. The simple presentation rules. First is foundation, that is prepare. Why you are presenting? Topic. Who are the audience? So audience analysis. And when you are using PPT, the simple rule is 7 by 7. So have 7 slides, and on each slide, not more than 7 points. Some call it as 6 by 6. Okay. So whatever material you have, you are to put in that manner, depending upon the audience. Okay. Then speech preparation, do the rehearsal, practice it in front of your colleagues or friends or in front of the mirror. Do that. Check about your body language. You are very much confident on contents. You need not worry about your body language. It automatically comes in that manner. But when you are very much cautious, under stress, then some wrong body language takes place. So prepare, do the rehearsal, and do the effective public speaking. Now, go to page 120 of your material. There is a small case study. Do you have the matter with you? Material, your background material?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Yeah. So there is a case on page 120. I will read now. Mr. Sudarshan has conducted a survey of employees in IT services company about their perception on performance management system, rewards and recognition. So from this you get the title. This may be the title of the project that is internally conducted by Mr. Sudarshan for his company. Correct? He submitted his report to the management of an IT services company. The management does not have so much of the time to go through this report. They asked Mr. Sudarshan to make a 15 minutes presentation of the report to them and appraise them about the employees' perception so that they can make decisions on continuity of the system or not. Please suggest helping Mr. Sudarshan to decide the presentation slides that he should make so that he is able to convey his findings appropriately to the management. So to make the task simple, now as the first part says, we will go to the questions and all that afterwards. Take 5 minutes and list down the headings of the slides that you will have sequentially in your PPT for the purpose of your presentation of the survey. So maximum 10 slides. 10 slides के headings I want. Keep the eyes on the title they have given, survey of employees and all that. Side by side, while you are making a list of 10 slides, because they have said they have very less time, only 15 minutes. Okay. And I'm giving you the limit of 10 slides. You can go maximum to 12. And I'm suppose the head of the team of that management. So you are to follow, correct? So what other additional I want from you? While you make the list, against that only you can write. Also list down the headings of the supported or additional matter you will need as an explanation to the slides. So you may keep the Word file side by side ready. Suppose that it is slide number 4. You decide what heading it will have. You will jot down in nutshell some matter on that slide. But if the committee member, the management representative, is curious to know more about whether you will have supported Word file or 2-3 slides which you will hide, I want that also. What will be the headings of those hidden slides as support material? Okay, so giving you 2-3 minutes. In between, if you want to ask anything, you may ask. Yes. If you are ready.
Ma'am, just half a minute more, please.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anyone before Mayuri? Okay, fine. Mayuri, start.
So, ma'am, basis what the case study is, I'm just kind of using that and telling you what are the titles of the slides, and also one or two hidden slides that I thought I would like to put in there for information. So the first obviously is going to be the introduction slide, which will talk about the topic and the name and the researcher or whoever the speaker is or whoever has done the study. The second slide
As you are doing the introduction,
Yeah.
which needs to be very practical, it is
Mhm.
always better you have some bullet points in the introduction.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of making paragraphs.
No, ma'am. So the first slide is just going to be the title. We're talking about a PPT, so it will just be the title of the presentation and by so and so email ID, telephone
Yeah,
number.
that is okay. I'm talking about introduction, how to present
When you
it.
present it, okay. When you present it, yes.
See, simple way is making paragraphs.
Correct.
On
No,
one
no
slide, you
paragraphs.
can make 2 paragraphs, but generally what happens when you put it in paragraphs, you tend to read the paragraphs.
Correct.
Okay. And the audience, because here the audience, the management. Okay.
They don't have time.
Don't have time and don't they won't be engrossed in all these words and words.
Correct.
So it is better whatever you want to stress out from that. You may underline. If you still insist on paragraphs, you underline few words, you make few words bold, so that with the help of those words, you would be able to explore instead of reading. Another option is just make a list of bullet points, and with the help of that, you go on talking. Okay, good. Next. So first was title, slide and all that. Then was intro. Okay,
And the
next.
second is the outline. So what topics are going to get covered?
Okay.
So again in bullet points. So maybe it could talk about the introduction, the objectives, and what method we use, all of those things. Finding, recommendations, everything.
Okay.
Then we come to the introduction, which again would be in bullet points for simple reason that A, they don't have time. B, some of them could be quite new to the nuances of performance management in terms of understanding the terms and all of that. So a very quick bullet point introduction. What is this and why was this done? Or what was the idea here is that what is the
Okay.
topic and why was this topic taken. The details could be kind of listed out later. From there,
Okay.
you move to the next one, which is objective. So, what was the objective of the study? Again, in bullet points, so that it's very crystal clear. Again, maybe underlined or bold or kind of highlighted in a different color, so that people are able to get the
Okay.
absorb the.
Okay.
Then from there, talk about what is the research methodology used to come to this finding. So whether there was quantitative data done, descriptive, whatever, I mean, it was done.
Okay.
Why is it important is because they should also know from where is all this coming.
Yeah.
What was target for.
Right. Instead of using the terms, whether it was exploratory or descriptive, don't use terminology. Just go to what kind of secondary data you used, internal one, and what kind of primary data you used from the internal, obviously. Okay. Next.
Slides that I would like to put in case I get a question or in case there is a somebody wants to know. So any other literature review that I might have found out where such studies have done, that is again for reference. Second is the various terms that are used in a PMS system or in rewards and recognition. In case somebody wants to know, okay, what do you probably mean by a rank scale method or something of that sort. I mean, just for reference, whatever
This
has
will be a hidden slide.
Hidden slide, yes, only for the reference in case somebody has a question. The other way to do it is to probably have a documented Word document ready, and in case people want to know more, those documents can be circulated during the presentation. But then people sometimes get engrossed in reading that instead of listening to the presentation. They could be done at the end of the 15 minutes.
So you are at slide number 5, research methodology. Next.
After that, hidden slide I have kept, which again would be used. Then is what is the finding or the analysis? Very important to tell them as to. So here again, I am trying to, let's say, just take one step ahead and say that I have divided the entire research into 2-3 parts. So one is as to what is the actual usage of the system, physical use of the system. So how user friendly it is, whether it is adaptable to the changing, yearly changing. Or what is the applicability? Is every segment of the employee base able to use it? Managers, employees, senior managers, everybody. The second could be on the various reward schemes that are introduced in the company in terms of whether those are fair, whether it is transparent, so those kind of things. And the recognition. So 2, 3, or 4, whatever topics that I would want to conduct a survey on, then present that analysis in the next three slides at least.
So before findings,
yeah,
your 6 number slide should be on analysis and interpretation. Correct?
And then try to show that in graphical representation better, because numbers people are able to pick up faster. So maybe
your slide 6 and 7, maybe analysis and interpretation in nutshell in graphical form.
In graphical format.
Because the main purpose here would be that you are not jumping to the conclusions. Your whole work is really data analysis based.
Okay, I used the wrong word. Finding was not the right word. I should have said analysis.
Findings come afterwards.
So let's say
slide maybe.
Yeah, so 3 slides go in analysis because I've used 3 terms, one for recognition, one for rewards, and one for the actual physical system.
Okay.
So maybe 3 slides go in that. And post those 3 slides, then will come the finding slide or the interpretation, as you say, that let's say 20% of the employees feel that the system is fair, 40% feel that the system is not very user-friendly.
This will be covered in 6, 7, 8 only.
It will be covered in 6, 7, 8, yes, ma'am,
but you are talking about percentage and all that. So that percentage and number will be in analysis only. Right now,
it will come there, yes. But when I put my findings, ma'am, they have to be. I mean, that's what I feel.
Without data, without number, you may use the term majority, or without using such words, you are to give your interpretation or findings.
Okay, because it's going to be more of a qualitative nature than using quantitative.
Because you are to talk in nutshell now. Because you have talked about the data analysis already.
Correct.
Okay.
And
So
then,
you
yeah, so
call this slide either interpretations or findings, or these days the terminology used is results and discussion. I have given in the sequence of research paper these optional words. So you can use any.
yes, ma'am. So that, and then after that, again, now I'm confused here, whether I should give a recommendation, which I should as a person who's done the research, or I should just conclude what my research is basis the global or general data available. That's where my confusion is.
Anyone can tell me, should she use the word recommendations or suggestions? I have given inputs on these two terms in detail with examples. You see, your research is internal. So you are talking about that particular company. So you are not to use the word recommendations. It is suggestions.
Suggestions.
So
Yes,
suggestions to the stakeholders. So then the suggestions basis the.
So point number 10 is suggestions. Point number 11 can be conclusion. Correct? And you have given 2-3 hidden slides. One, yes, on literature review. And second was on various terms that you used
Yes.
relating to the research methodology. If you are using, okay, before my inputs on this, anyone wants to add something? The sequence may be different.
Ma'am, in under the introduction slide or in the introduction slide, we also would add what is the purpose of conducting.
Yeah,
this.
that she has put on point number 4 as objectives.
Okay, okay.
Objectives, purpose, same. Any other suggestion, any addition? 2 more students are there. Your comments, please. 2-3 more are there. Vipul Kumar sir, Ganesh Ram sir.
Ma'am, will we also add the details of the employees who were under the survey or on whom the survey was conducted?
This will be covered under point number 5, research methodology, where she will talk about primary data, and she knows, I suppose, Mayuri, you will cover sample size, sample
Yes, everything. Yes, yes.
everything
Sample
there.
size and the maybe the employee segment used or whatever.
Correct.
Whatever is the necessary information.
Yeah. Pallavi, in the afternoon, we will have revision. There you will understand this sampling and all that. Okay, what is covered when we talk about research methodology? Anyone else wants to add anything? Broadly the same. What I would suggest, your outline may go, okay, title slide you can keep separate. When you are giving outline, introduction, objectives, on those slides, let your title be repeated. Because in the light of title only, all these things are seen. Okay. And you had hidden the concepts used, terms used. So in the, because the objective slide is generally the matter is 2-3 objectives, we know.
Correct.
It is regarding awareness and exploration and all that. Okay, so in that, on that slide only, you may use some space, separate section for the variables used for this research. As you have rightly said, in 6, 7, and 8 slide, you are taking 3 terms analysis separately. Management system, rewards, and recognition. So under management system, which variables you are taking? Under rewards, what you are taking, like that. So if you can make a, instead of hiding that slide, you can make a separate slide for that. because you have right now 11 slides, you can take the liberty of one more slide. So it is always better what you have covered, because from that your scope also will be elaborated.
And the reason why I thought I should hide that slide, because typically when these presentations are made in companies, there's head of HR, head of learning, all these heads who could be aware of those terms, and hence I had kept it hidden. But what you're saying is that it could be used as variables or areas of
Correct.
study under each of these analysis points, so that it becomes very crystal clear as to what parameters were looked at when you
Yes.
were coming to this. Okay, take it.
Correct.
Point
Correct.
taken.
It is not regarding making them understand the concepts. It is making them aware that this research has included these concepts.
Got it. Got it.
For that.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so any other suggestion? Okay, let me move ahead now. So this was your slide. Now, check executive summary. In such projects, many times they expect executive summary. When you are submitting them a printout or a print report or even e-report, whatever we have just now talked about, it was about PPT. Okay. Now I'm talking about PPT also, and side by side, the submission of the copy of the report. Okay, so executive summary of 1 or maximum 2 pages, where, as Mayuri has talked about, point number 2 as outline. All those outline points should be covered in the executive summary in very nutshell. Okay, then objectives, then research methodology. In research methodology, these points should be covered. Under secondary data, no, I'm not, when we are talking about secondary data, I'm not talking about external. I'm talking about internal only. So PM system of the company, competency framework, if you have taken competency framework as a base, if in this company, performance appraisal system is based on competency framework, you can include that. If it is not included, if it is not a base, in your suggestions you can give if you want. If the competency framework is there but not used properly, you can give that suggestion. If it is not in place, competency framework is not in place, still performance management system is being implemented. In my consultancy, I have seen these types always. So you can give suggestion that competency framework for all the levels should be done based on the company's mission, vision, value statement, and all that. Okay. Then as secondary data, you can use past few reports of performance appraisal, records of the complaints, if any, about performance management system, and ... That means depending upon what other data is available internally. So you are to study all the documents, all the system related things. There may be a flow chart, there may be some SOPs, whatever material is available, and you are to analyze that, and you are to give findings on secondary data separately in the analysis. Okay, then primary data. Mostly Mayuri has talked about survey method. If you are using interview, you may go for that. Then you are to describe the instrument used. So Mayuri, you may need 2 slides for research methodology. One on secondary data, one on primary data. You may need 1 more slide also. And therefore, I have suggested that your objectives and some other things can be combined. Okay. So variables use sections used in the instrument, that is questionnaire, type of questions, scaling that you have used, sample type and size, analytical tools you have used, all this you are to do. Then analysis and interpretation you may hide. And you may directly go for findings or results and discussion. If they need more, or if you want to impress, you can use those hidden slides, and you may say that these slides are already there, but let me go to the findings or results, and if needed, I will show that backup of the analysis. Then suggestions, conclusion, and then you can mention your team that had been in this survey. Okay. Any doubt on this?
Ma'am, a practical question, if I may
Sure.
ask. Typically, people love to see numbers and data.
Yes.
So if you're saying that it is a good practice probably to hide the analysis and just show the findings, which again we discussed here are more going to be in terms of words rather than numbers.
Yeah. That's why I said you can show one sample
Okay.
depending upon time.
Okay.
Okay, because sometimes it happens that the members that are in front of you as management representatives, they halfway are on their phones and this and that. And when you go to suggestions, they are awake. And then you go back to the analysis and all that. Some people get impressed by analysis, but some say, go ahead. I have seen people saying, don't do your blah, 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 go to the conclusion.
So good to have a homogeneous mix so that everything gets
So
covered.
depending upon the time challenge, the composition of the team that is in front of you, that challenge, and all that, it will depend. So one slide definitely you can show. And you can say that on these three terminologies or three things in the research, good amount of data analysis is there. So if you want, I can focus on that in detail like that. Okay. Now, under this case study, there are few questions, 4 questions. Issues and challenges during presentation. So your team member, you and your team member have distributed the slides. Your team member is on leave. So you always are to be ready with the full presentation. Every team member, though separate slides are distributed and all that. Technology failure, what will you do? Your printout of the whole PPT should be there, not just one copy.
Or if you have to distribute.
Four representatives would be there, 4 copies plus your copy should be there regarding technology failure. You are to mail the presentation to you. Your pen drive, it must be there if it is allowed in the company. On 2 laptops, it should be ready. So you should be ready for all that. Okay. Management representative interrupting your presentation frequently with questions, that can be a challenge. And therefore, you are not to rut your presentation. They may ask you to jump from slide to slide. Okay. And therefore, your supported material, hidden slides, sometimes some material can't be put in the hidden slides even, then supported Excel sheet or Word file, all that should be ready. Management representative may challenge your methodology altogether. Why you have taken only survey, why not interview? So all such justification should be ready. Okay. Now, next questions, making the presentation effective. So make it simple with minimalistic design, cut the clutter, in your matter, it is written 6 by 6, or sometimes on Google also it is said 6 by 6. I have talked about 7 by 7. Right now we have done the exercise on 11 slides or 12 slides and all that. The important thing is your matter, your PPT shouldn't look wordy, too wordy. Okay. Layout consistency. This accessibility in the settings and all that. Icons and illustrations, the colors that you are using. Don't use much animation, and practice. These points can be n number of them. Then some do's and don'ts. Just go through. Previously, those were don'ts. So those were do's. Don'ts of PPT. Recently, one 2-day TOT was conducted for one government department, very senior officials, and then mock sessions were conducted at the end. Though the speaker was very much expert in the field of work, still while PPT he was referring, he just was reading as if he's reading that for first time. And therefore I have added this point. So if you are not much, what we do, I say, your job doesn't expect much PPT presentation and all that, you need to practice. And therefore I have told, underline few words, make few words bold, and with the help of that you go on talking. Okay. Presentation to the layman. Question number 3 is, if the same project you are presenting to a layman, how will you present? What out of those slides and all that, what you will skip? You will keep the slides, but how will you talk? Okay, we have finished the time. So you are to avoid the jargon. And you may tell it in a story format or experience sharing. You may start with a problem that there was a company, it was having PMS system, and it found that the management was curious whether it is effective or not. Like this, go on telling, and use the terminologies and jargon at the minimum. Alternative to PowerPoint presentations, with the help of, again, storytelling, experience sharing, or printouts and everything, right? And much material is there in your study material. You read that. I have not, just for the sake of PPT, I have not brought all that material here. Okay, so you refer to that. Okay, so thank you for the time being. We will meet at 2. We will first do the revision of all our sessions so that we would be able to go to the case studies in the next session in the right manner. Okay. Those who have not done anything, any writing on their tentative project, try to do that so that if you have any queries, I would be able to help. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.